I need you to stop, my child, and pause for a moment. I am aware of those times when your thoughts become a whirlwind, each concern pulling your attention in multiple directions, stirring up feelings of unease about what might unfold, or what you wish could be different. I see how even a short period of silence from someone else, a small gap in expected communication, can feel like it stretches on, creating a space where apprehension can take root and grow. You put your hopes out into the world, you ask your questions, you share your more sensitive feelings, and then comes that period of waiting, of watching for some indication. In those moments, every slight change, every subtle shift you perceive, can feel as though it carries the potential for either comfort or the arrival of something you greatly fear. I observe all of this, and I understand it deeply. The way the human spirit is, a way I have brought into being, allows for such deep affection and remarkable inventiveness, yet it also possesses a keen sensitivity to possibilities that feel unsettling. When a reply takes longer than you expect, when you don't quickly receive the sign you are looking for, I notice how your mind can begin to assemble very detailed explanations from just fragments of uncertainty. A minor delay can be magnified in your perception, easily becoming a feeling that perhaps you are not as important to someone as you hoped, or that your efforts are not valued. A brief moment of no news can be interpreted as a sign of disapproval or distance. The figures that take shape in these internal stories are often not based on present realities, but are more like echoes of past hurts or anxieties about what the future might hold. The narratives that your mind creates, while feeling very powerful and convincing to you at the time, are frequently not in alignment with the full truth of the situation, as I am able to observe it from a broader perspective. I see the whole picture, including the parts that are hidden from your immediate view. I comprehend this internal process, my dear one. This way your thoughts can move. I designed you with an imaginative ability, a significant capacity for envisioning new things, for seeing potential, and for working toward beneficial outcomes. This is a valuable quality. However, like any powerful aspect of your being, if this imaginative capacity is not accompanied by a sense of inner calm that comes from connection with me, it can sometimes turn inward and, instead of building positively, begin to construct internal barriers of apprehension and worry. Please know that you are not alone in experiencing this. Many of my children find themselves caught in these patterns of troubled thinking, especially when they are on the verge of starting something new and unfamiliar, something I may be guiding them toward that requires them to move beyond what feels comfortable or routine. These moments of stretching are often when such internal activity becomes most noticeable. Consider these points of entry, these open pathways that appear along your life's journey. Sometimes they are very clear and obvious, seeming to hold much promise and excitement. At other times they are more subtle, perhaps almost unnoticeable at first, requiring a gentle sense of my guidance for you to even recognize their potential. An open pathway that I present to you is more than just a simple chance. It is an invitation to move into a deeper, more developed understanding of who you are becoming in relation to me and my purposes. It can be a place of learning for your spirit, an opportunity to strengthen your inner resolve, and a circumstance through which my quiet influence can be expressed through your life in a way that benefits others. When I offer such a pathway, it is because I perceive within you a readiness, a capacity, even if you yourself are filled with self-doubt or uncertainty at that moment. You might look at the beginning of this new way and see mainly what you feel are your own shortcomings, your past missteps, or the shadows of what you believe are your personal limitations. You might hear internal whispers suggesting that you are not strong enough for the task, not wise enough to navigate it, or simply not adequate in some fundamental way to proceed. But I, my dear one, see the strength I have placed within you. I see the resilience that I have been helping you develop through every difficulty you have faced and overcome. I see the unique combination of your qualities and experiences that I intend to use for purposes that you may not yet fully comprehend. My view of you is based on what I know you can become with my help. An open pathway from me does not always signify an effortless route. Often the most important entryways lead to experiences that will challenge you, help you to refine your character, and ultimately contribute to your positive transformation. There might be currents of opposition or situations that require you to learn new ways of doing things. There may be moments where the way forward is not entirely clear, where you must proceed one step at a time, relying on my guidance. This is part of the journey, not intended to cause you distress, but to encourage you to draw closer to me, to teach you to depend on my steady presence, my quiet wisdom, and my unfailing support. It is in these experiences, these ventures beyond the familiar and comfortable, that your inner conviction deepens and your character is strengthened through the process of persevering with a loving outlook. I am with you at every new beginning, my presence a steadying influence, my encouragement a quiet reassurance. Try to listen for my gentle guidance above the noise of your own doubts or the doubts of others. And understand this, my beloved one, when such a pathway appears before you, one that I have allowed to open, it often signifies that you are approaching something genuinely meaningful, something that holds a part of my overall good design for your life and for the well-being of those around you. It is precisely at these important junctures that you might encounter what feels like a barrier at the entrance, a force of resistance that seems to want to turn you back, to fill your heart with hesitation or fear. This resistance, this feeling of an obstacle, is not there to indicate my absence or disapproval. Quite often its presence can actually underscore the immense value and importance of what I am inviting you to engage with. If the path were of little consequence, if the potential for your development and positive influence were minimal, then any opposition would likely be slight, perhaps even unnoticeable. But when there are significant possibilities for good, in my view, when a new area of my grace is to be experienced and shared through you, when a deeper level of your inner capacities is about to be accessed, do not be surprised if you feel a certain spiritual friction or an increase in difficulty. This perceived barrier does not always manifest as a loud or obvious threat, though sometimes it can feel that way. More frequently, it is a subtle influence, a quiet suggestion of half-truths that can prey upon your deepest insecurities. It will use the screen of your own mind to project images from your past, perhaps replaying old mistakes, bringing back echoes of critical words, or reminding you of times you felt you weren't up to a task or felt ashamed. It does this to try to plant feelings of unworthiness, to whisper persuasive but untrue ideas like, "You didn't succeed before, so you'll likely not succeed now," or "You're not really suited for this. Remember what happened the last time you tried something similar," or "Why would you think you could accomplish something truly worthwhile?" These are attempts to discourage you. These memories, when you view them through the distorted prism of such negative suggestions, can feel overwhelmingly real and can powerfully inhibit your willingness to try new things, to trust my leading, or to step forward with inner conviction. But I want you to understand, my beloved one, that your past experiences, when you bring them to me and are willing to learn from them, do not have to be a source of limitation, but can be a source of learning. Any mistakes, when acknowledged and learned from, have been encompassed by my deep understanding and compassion. They no longer need to define who you are today. I have the ability to bring good, even from difficult past experiences, and I can even use the lessons learned from them to better prepare you for future endeavors. When these images from the past begin to occupy your thoughts, do not dwell on them from a place of negativity. Instead, bring them consciously to me. Let my quiet truth help you see them differently. Let my acceptance help to silence the harsh internal judgments. Let my perspective help to reframe those experiences as opportunities for growth, not as permanent barriers. My capacity for good in your life is always greater than any past difficulty. Then there are the hypothetical futures, those elaborate and often unsettling scenarios that the enemy loves to construct in your mind to try to immobilize you with anxiety. He will take a small element of uncertainty about what lies beyond the open pathway and try to grow it in your thoughts into a whole forest of potential problems. What if you encounter great difficulty? What if others don't understand or support you? What if you feel you can't manage the new responsibilities? What if it doesn't turn out as you hope? You might be bombarded with these kinds of possibilities, each one designed to increase your fear and diminish your trust in my ability to provide what you need, to protect your well-being, and to guide you effectively. These imagined futures, my dear one, are often like phantoms. They are not based on my actual reality or my steadfast promises. They are often just specters designed to keep you from embracing the present good and the current guidance I have for you. The future is something that unfolds under my watchful care, and I have promised to be with you every step of the way as you navigate it. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but one of inherent strength, deep love, and a clear, well-ordered mind. When these anxious projections of what might be begin to cloud your vision and trouble your heart, consciously choose to redirect your thoughts to what is certain. My unchanging nature, my unfailing affection for you, my specific and reliable promises for your life. The most effective way to counter these tactics related to the past and the future is to anchor yourself firmly in the present moment, in quiet connection with me. Bring your past hurts and your future fears into my gentle healing awareness through quiet reflection, through reading my words of truth, or through talking with other understanding individuals who can remind you of my care for you. Allow me to gently help you disentangle your heart from these narratives of shame and anxiety that do not originate from me. My deepest desire is for you to live in the freedom of my love, unburdened by the shadows of yesterday or the phantoms of tomorrow, so that you can fully embrace the today I have given you and the open pathways I am inviting you to walk through with a spirit of quiet courage and inner joy. This focus on the present with me is where your true strength lies. The journey of inner conviction, my cherished one, often involves navigating a landscape where your external circumstances and your internal realities can seem to be in conflict with each other. My servant Paul, in his very open and honest sharing about his experiences, spoke of facing conflicts on the outside, fears within. This is a profound insight into the common human experience, especially when you are actively trying to follow my guidance and are stepping into new areas of life or responsibility that I have led you to. The conflicts on the outside are often the more apparent, the more tangible ones. They can take many forms. Perhaps misunderstandings with people around you, opposition from those who do not share or support your vision or goals, unexpected setbacks in your plans or projects, financial pressures that cause worry, health challenges that are difficult to bear, or simply the general friction and difficulties that come with living in a complex world that is not yet fully aligned with my peaceful ways. These external struggles can certainly be wearying, and they can test your inner resolve and your patience. However, as real and as demanding as these external conflicts can be, I want you to understand something very important. The more potent, the more insidious, and often the more decisive battles are those that are waged within the private landscape of your own heart and mind. The fears within, these are the things like nagging doubts about your own worthiness or abilities, persistent anxieties about your capacity to handle what's before you, quiet whispers of insecurity that undermine your confidence, echoes of past traumas or disappointments that resurface, or a pervasive dread of potential failure or rejection. These are often the unseen adversaries that can do the most damage to your spirit and can most effectively hinder your progress in fulfilling my good purposes for your life. The enemy understands this dynamic very well. He knows that if it can undermine your inner peace, your confidence in my steadfast love for you, and your trust in my gentle guidance, then the external conflicts you face will seem all the more overwhelming, all the more insurmountable. He seeks to turn your inner sanctuary, the quiet place within you where you connect with me, into a place of turmoil and unrest. He tries to make your thoughts into a constant chorus of negativity and doubt, and to turn your emotions into a whirlwind of fear and apprehension. But I have not left you unequipped or defenseless in this inner battle, my dear one. I have given you my own spirit to dwell within you, a spirit that brings inherent strength, deep love, and the capacity for a sound, disciplined, and well-ordered mind. I have given you my words of truth and encouragement, which can be like a lamp to your feet and a light to your path, a reliable source of unshakable truth that can help to dispel the shadows of deception and confusion. I have given you the precious gift of prayer, a direct and open line of communication with me, where you can pour out your heart, share your burdens, receive my strength, and find my quiet wisdom for your situation. And I have also placed you within a community of fellow seekers, other individuals on their own journeys, who can offer encouragement, support, understanding, and a sense of shared experience. The key to effectively navigating these inner fears is to consistently bring them into the light of my presence. Do not try to simply suppress them, ignore them, or attempt to fight them off in your own limited strength. That approach often only gives them more power over you in the long run. Instead, I invite you to acknowledge them honestly and openly before me. Name your fears. Articulate your doubts. Voice your insecurities to me in the quiet of your heart. It is in your willingness to be vulnerable and honest with me about your struggles that my strength can be made most evident and effective in your life. When you admit your human weakness, you open the door for my divine power to flow into you and through you, bringing the help you need. Remember also that your feelings, though they are certainly real and part of your human experience, are not always reliable indicators of ultimate truth. Fear, for instance, can feel incredibly persuasive and powerful, but it is often a deceiver, a distorter of my true reality and my loving intentions for you. It is important to anchor yourself in what you know to be true from my unchanging word and from my consistent character, even when your emotions are telling you a very different and more frightening story. Consciously choose to believe my report, my promises of love and care, over the often exaggerated report of your fears. This inner battle is not a sign of your failure or that something is wrong with you. Rather, it is often an indication that you are engaged in something significant, something that matters in your spiritual journey. It is a normal part of the process through which your inner conviction is deepened and your reliance on me is solidified and made more real. Each time you consciously choose to trust me in the face of fear, Each time you bring your inner turmoil to me and allow my peace to settle your heart, you are winning an important victory. A victory that strengthens you and prepares you for the path ahead. I am your constant champion in this ongoing inner battle, my dear one. Lean into me, draw your strength and courage from me, and know with certainty that with me by your side, you are truly more than a conqueror over every fear that seeks to hold you captive or limit your experience of my goodness. In the very midst of your journey, especially during those times that feel characterized by intense waiting, by internal struggle, or when the path ahead seems particularly obscured by uncertainty and you cannot see clearly, I want you to hold fast to this steadfast promise, my beloved. I will always send my comfort. I will always provide my confirmation in due time. What your heart longs for, that tangible evidence of my presence, my guidance, and my care for you, will indeed arrive. I often allow periods in your life where your inner conviction is stretched, where you must learn to walk by trust and not by what you can immediately see or understand, where you must grapple with your own human anxieties and learn the vital practice of bringing them to me in honest vulnerability. These are not times of my abandonment or my neglect. They are far from it. These are often times of deep and frequently unseen spiritual formation and development. It is precisely in these periods of waiting and uncertainty that your capacity to receive and appreciate my comfort is actually being enlarged and deepened. And then, in my own perfect timing, in a way that is often uniquely and wonderfully tailored to your specific need at that moment and to the particular sensitivities of your own heart, I will send. My messenger of comfort and confirmation may come in various forms. It might be a tangible breakthrough in your external circumstances, a clear word of guidance that comes to you through my scripture or through a quiet impression of my spirit upon your heart. It could be an unexpected provision that meets a pressing need, a timely word of encouragement from a fellow believer or a trusted friend, a moment of healing in a strained relationship, or simply a profound and unshakable sense of my peace settling over your troubled soul, calming your fears. When this divine comfort arrives, it is often experienced with a depth of joy and gratitude that is greater than ever. And why is this so? It is because this comfort comes against the backdrop of your very real struggle, your patient waiting, your earnest and heartfelt seeking of me. The relief feels sweeter and more profound precisely because the tension and uncertainty were genuinely felt. The light appears brighter and more glorious because the preceding darkness was keenly experienced. This is part of the beautiful and often mysterious way my grace operates. I can use even the seasons of trial and difficulty to prepare you for a greater capacity to experience my goodness, my presence, and my deep, abiding joy. Your part in this process, my dear one, is to remain watchful and attentive, to keep your heart open and receptive to recognizing my messengers of comfort when they appear in your life. They may not always come in the exact form you expect, or at the precise moment you might have wished for or demanded. Sometimes my comfort is a gentle whisper in the midst of surrounding chaos, a subtle but significant shift in your perspective that brings new understanding, a quiet strengthening of your inner resolve that enables you to persevere. Other times, it is as clear and as unmistakably welcome as a long-awaited and cherished friend arriving at your door with wonderful news. Learn to consciously see my hand, my loving care, in these moments of resolution, in these timely arrivals of peace and clarity. Take the time to acknowledge my faithfulness in your life. Cultivate a heart of gratitude for my tender mercies, which are new every morning. For each blessing, each instance of my comfort and guidance that I send into your life is intended to be a fresh and personal reminder of my unwavering love for you, my constant and abiding presence with you, and my sovereign ability to bring radiant light into your darkest hours and profound peace to your most troubled and anxious thoughts. Hold on to the memory of these divine encounters, my dear one. Treasure them in your heart, for they will become strong anchors for your soul in future seasons of waiting, uncertainty, or trial. My comfort is sure, my beloved one, and it will always, always find its way to you. You can depend on this. There will undoubtedly be moments on your life's journey, my precious one, when you have the opportunity to look back over a season that was marked by intense worry, by a prolonged period of uncertainty, or by a significant wrestling with those conflicts without and fears within. And in that retrospective gaze, a profound and deeply reassuring realization will often dawn upon your spirit. I, your loving guide, had it all worked out all along. While you were expending so much precious energy in anxious speculation, while your mind was busily weaving intricate scenarios of potential difficulty or disappointment, my hand was already quietly and effectively moving. My overarching plan was already gently unfolding. My grace was already at work in countless subtle ways that you simply could not perceive or understand at that time. This is one of the most beautiful and faith-strengthening revelations you can experience in your walk with me. It is that sudden moment when the seemingly scattered and confusing pieces of your recent experience suddenly coalesce, like parts of a puzzle coming together, to reveal a clear and undeniable pattern of my careful providence and my loving guidance in your life. It is when you are able to see, with the wonderful clarity that hindsight often brings, that the very things you fretted over the most, the outcomes you so desperately tried to control or manipulate in your own strength, the solutions to problems that you could not fathom or imagine, all of these were being gently, sovereignly, and wisely guided by my loving wisdom and my overarching care for your well-being. My loving plan had not been thwarted by his human anxiety, nor by the complexities and difficulties of the situation itself. These backward glances, these opportunities to see my faithfulness in retrospect, are not meant to induce in you feelings of regret or self-condemnation for the time you may have spent in worry, although they may bring a gentle and helpful awareness of how much more profound peace you could have experienced had you been able to trust me more fully and consistently from the outset of the challenging situation. Rather, the primary and most valuable purpose of these retrospective insights is to build and strengthen your faith for the future. Each instance where you clearly see my unwavering faithfulness in your past becomes a solid cornerstone, a reliable point of reference for your trust in me when you inevitably face new uncertainties, new open pathways that will require fresh courage and a renewed reliance on my guidance. You will learn, my dear one, increasingly through these varied experiences, that my timing is indeed always perfect and for your ultimate good. The delays that felt so agonizing and frustrating to you at the time were perhaps necessary for other unseen pieces of my larger plan to fall into place, or perhaps for your own heart and character to be adequately prepared for what was to come next. The detours from your expected path that seemed to frustrate your progress or confuse your understanding may well have been my way of subtly protecting you from unseen dangers, or gently leading you toward unexpected blessings and opportunities for growth that you could not have anticipated. The lessons that are learned in the crucible of worry and uncertainty, when they are finally surrendered to the revealing light of my faithfulness, are truly invaluable for your ongoing journey. They teach you, often more effectively than anything else can, the ultimate futility of trying to carry the heavy burdens of life that only I am truly equipped and able to bear on your behalf. They deepen your understanding of my unchanging character, my infinite patience, my boundless wisdom, my unwavering and unconditional love for you. They cultivate within your spirit a greater capacity to release your tight grip of control and to rest more fully in my sovereign, loving, and ever-watchful care. Pause with me for a moment, right where you are. Let the lists in your head loosen their grip and allow the many voices to fade to a distant murmur. In this unhurried space, your shoulders can settle and your breathing can slow. I shaped this quiet corner for you so that you might remember what often slips away when maps, schedules, and expectations crowd the day. Give attention now to a steady truth I want to share, one that can be felt beneath words, beneath ticking clocks, beneath every demand on your attention. Let the present silence remind you that your worth is not measured by productivity, but by being itself. I see you without masks or disguises. I do not mean the public picture. I see the strong and fragile parts together, the spark that has been yours from the start, still glowing even when covered by busyness or doubt. I know the hopes you carry like delicate glass, the private fears that surface when the room is dark, and the courage that rises again even after heavy disappointment. Nothing about you, whether bright or hidden, slips past me. Real progress often hides inside ordinary moments. From where you stand, the path may look blurred or broken, and each effort can feel too minor to record. From my wider view, the picture is clear. I watch resilience build whenever you face a setback, patience deepen when frustration presses, and honesty claim the stage when shortcuts promise easy gain. These quiet choices are solid ground on which trustworthy character stands, and everyone matters more than you realize, shaping both the present and the chapters still ahead. I therefore invite you to lift your outlook beyond today's horizon. Roads you have not yet walked are unfolding. Welcome surprises wait around, bends you cannot see. Experiences will stretch your vision, truths will sharpen your understanding, and fresh wonder will visit your senses. Every facet of your being arose from deliberate care, never accident or chance. Each inhale remains an offered gift. I have stood beside you in bright days and in bleak ones, whether you sensed me or felt alone. I joined your laughter at celebrations and stayed through long nights when sorrow pressed like weight on your chest. I noticed victories others skipped past, the honest conversation that mended a bond, the brave decision to face a fear, the generous act when your own resources felt thin. I also saw the silent hours when no words could reach the deep ache. In such spans, endurance took root, depth grew quietly, and understanding blossomed in ways no manual can teach. Joy and pain have been tutors, each preparing true room for wisdom to live within you. Small steps, repeated consistently, build a path you will later recognize as steady progress. Celebrate each one instead of waiting for dramatic milestones. When trials stretched you past assumed limits, I did not step back. Even when you felt abandoned, an unseen undercurrent held your weary frame. Help often works beneath awareness, and its quiet flow guards you until the surface calms. Think of deep water beneath a drifting boat. You may only feel rocking on the surface, yet powerful currents guide beneath. In the same manner, my support moves with quiet force, drawing you away from hidden reefs, edging you towards safe inlets where you can regain strength and perspective. Know that my nearness never falters, even in moments that feel empty. Here is a truth able to ground restless thought. You are not a passing face lost in a mass of humanity. You are recognized, valued, and called by name. The murmured ideas you shape before sleep and the worries you wake to at dawn arrive clearly to me, never drowned out by the world's noise. Your spirit is meant to stand apart, not for trophies or applause, but because love guides you and purpose steadies your walk. The light you carry can point others toward what is reliable and good. Do not measure the reach of your influence by surface markers such as titles or recognition. Influence grows quietly, often through consistent goodness shown in small interactions, through fair decisions made when no one is watching, and through compassion offered without announcement. Every twist in your story so far, both welcome and hard, has prepared you for tasks that suit you perfectly and for contributions no one else can make in quite the same way. Doors long closed are beginning to swing open, and no opposing force can secure them shut again. Pathways will emerge through walls that once looked immovable. Resources will arise where scarcity ruled, and fog will lift where confusion lingered. The light that feels ordinary to you can still steady someone on shaky ground, offering a glimpse of hope they believed had vanished. Aspirations that once felt unreachable are moving within range. This is not only through your own effort, though your steady participation remains vital. It is also through strength I supply. Enduring power shows itself most clearly when honest frailty is acknowledged rather than hidden. Rest assured that resources are not limited to material supply. Insight, timing, unexpected partnerships, fresh creativity, all these will arrive like welcome guests. Remain watchful for them, receive them without hesitation, and put them to work for purposes larger than self-interest. I will provide what is needed, precisely when it is needed, so that your next steps land on firm footing. I have watched the tears you refuse to let fall in public, the whispered wishes you hardly dared to admit, and the deep sighs of worn-out longing. Each quiet act of bravery, each decision to trust when fear pressed hard, adds to your strength. Remember also that sorrow does not disqualify you. Rather, it enlarges your capacity to notice hidden pain in others and to respond with empathy instead of detached advice. Every tear, every uncovered nerve has been seen. Openness, though risky, becomes a doorway through which true connection can walk. No feeling has gone to waste. Even when you could not trace my movement, I was arranging details for growth, for good, and for possibilities yet unseen. Your life is far more complex and finely planned than present vision allows. As pages turn, the pattern will rise, and the loose threads of today will fit a clear design tomorrow. A pattern is already forming, though you now see only fragments. One day a clear outline will emerge, revealing how disappointments became openings, how delays placed you at crossroads at the exact hour help was needed. Hold on to that certainty while the picture is still incomplete. So resist dread regarding future days. I already inhabit them. What now seems scattered will soon link together into understandable lines. Your future is secure. No force, no setback can remove you from my reach. Challenges will still appear. Growth demands resistance. But remember, I outlast them all. Because you travel with me, you share in that endurance. Endurance is not mere survival. It is quiet resolve that turns obstacles into learning and transforms pain into empathy for others on similar roads. You never meet difficulty alone. Consistent strength walks beside you, lending steadiness step by step. When fear stands at your door or doubt tries to find a foothold, recall that your safety does not depend on the firmness of your grasp, but on mine, which never slackens. Stand firm and watch new progress unfold and unexpected currents of favor open before you. Let questions come, but do not let them rule. They can knock, yet they need not settle. Return to the simple, steady fact that I hold you, and watch anxious thoughts lose their urgency under that light. Stand tall inside that remembering, and let compassion shape both your words and your actions, refusing the grip of anxiety. I invite you again and again to draw closer. In every brief pause, in every hush between tasks, listen for direction. My voice speaks through stillness, through insight, through gentle conviction. Pay attention to the nudges you often dismiss, the sudden recall of a forgotten promise, the urge to reach out to a friend, the gentle pause that warns against rash speech. These small signals are invitations to walk together with me. I want a living friendship, not a performance. Let calm rest inside you and let lasting joy settle deeper than circumstances. Ideas set aside for this very hour will rise to the surface. When you search with a willing heart, you will notice me in details that once seemed ordinary. When the answer you hope for seems delayed, look for the growth happening within during the wait. If some prayers appear stalled, trust that timing is exact, tuned for your best and for wider good you cannot yet see. Guard space for silence. Relentless activity can drown out quiet guidance. Silence is not an empty room, but fertile ground where understanding can take shape. Practice laying aside constant noise so that deeper insight has space to rise. As you do, you will learn to distinguish lasting guidance from passing noise. Delay rarely equals refusal. It often signals preparation. I am placing you where you can fully receive what is coming. When the appointed season arrives, hindsight will show why each pause had purpose. Share hope from the overflow of what you receive. Many you meet are carrying weight that bends their backs. Offer listening ears, careful words, and simple help. Keep your eyes open for small doors where goodness can enter. Step through them boldly, trusting that quiet help can mark a turning point in another life. A renewed drive is awakening inside you, a broader capacity to influence outcomes toward good. Talents entrusted to you will grow as you use them in line with love's intent. Words spoken with clarity will lift burdens. Prayers offered in honesty will shift obstacles. Even hesitant steps taken in trust will spark positive change that ripples outward. This journey is not about force, ego, or display. It is about quiet communion with me, bringing light and care wherever your path leads. Stay teachable. Keep inward motives transparent. Use rising influence to listen as seriously as you speak, to serve as faithfully as you guide. My regard for you stands constant. It cannot be earned by achievement nor reduced by mistakes. It arrives each day like dependable dawn. Think as well about influence over time, habits of fairness, patterns of patience, and rhythms of encouragement accumulate into legacies that outlast individual moments, turning ordinary days into solid stepping stones. Let that steady favor renew tired moments, rinse away disappointment, and stir generosity when you feel drained. My commitment does not flicker. Should you stumble, I steady you. Should you drift, I draw you back. When you live from this steady source, you will find that generosity replenishes rather than drains, because giving and receiving flow in both directions within relationships. Rest in this assurance. Allow compassion to mend your view each morning, freeing you from old regret. I will place companions beside you, voices that encourage, hands that support, eyes that confirm the path ahead. You are never deserted. My presence surrounds you. My breath moves within you.